Hey guys, welcome back. Are we having a good Friday? July 15th. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. Look at these candles coming in. This is crazy. This is crazy. We're going to talk about why this is crazy right now. We have a Twitter you can follow us on at Happy Money YT, and a Discord server. Link for those are in the description. Yeah, today is a lot more bullish than I was expecting. Even if we just stayed flat today on GameStop, I would have been impressed with how bullish it was, but it is wild. Yeah, I figured they would be able to be pushing it down. Because this is, I mean, the day's not over yet. We got about 50 minutes left, but this is, if we're going to close, I mean, I don't think we're going to close above 140, but even above 135, I mean, this is a lot more options in the money that they're letting expire. So that's pretty bullish. Yep, so SPY today gapped up. Consumer sentiment is better than it was last month or whenever they did that. And last month was the worst time in history. I think they started doing it in the 50s and never had consumer sentiment as bad as it was. So anything better than the worst is good. And that's what we got today. Still expecting a SPY big rally at some point. Filling that gap, that 399 gap, and maybe up to like 420-ish. Not sure if it'll be this week or rather next week or the week after, from here till next month. July, I think, is typically very bullish. So I'm trying to think of what external factors would cause that. I'm just distracted with GME. Consumer sentiment's one. I guess next Fed minutes could cause it. I don't know what would make the market rip. Maybe if he did 75 basis points instead of 100. I don't know. We'll see. But GME being detached from SPY for the most part is, I'd like to see that also. It needs to break free and kind of move on its own. I mean, the bear market rally and it outpacing, that's good. But when it's outpacing, it's breaking free, right? Because it's ahead of it. But just it fully kind of isolated on its own, I think that looks better to me. More volatility can be allowed. If it's too close to the SPY, then it just seems more controlled. Once it starts just kind of moving on its own and more volatile, that's a bullish sign that we're going to have some big price action soon. Volume today, it was pretty good. It's at 1.8, not bad. Yesterday we had that big volume spike on that drop, so that added to it. But today's pretty good. Let's see. It's actually surprisingly lower. Probably end lower than every day, but maybe Monday this week. Monday was 1.8. Yeah, today we're gonna have more than Monday, but probably not as much as Wednesday. No, we won't have as much as Wednesday unless a ton of volume comes in. 3.4 on Wednesday. Daily chart still looks good. Again, I kind of thought today they would bring it down to, we'd be closing down to 132 or 130, and then Monday even a little lower. But again, it's not over yet, 45 minutes. But just the fact of how steady it's been holding today is very bullish, and it even rallying right now after CNS closed. Borrow fee. So my triggers, if you watched yesterday's video, that was my main trigger, was the borrow fee coming down. And so I closed out a lot of the longs yesterday when it came down from 37 to 33. And then I was anticipating this morning, like what's going to be. And it was still 32 at 9 a.m. That's when it updates. That's it, right? Yeah. And then 9:15, it's back up 38.8. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. So it looks to me like we're just kind of plateauing. We're at just kind of maybe a step, just kind of going to trade in this range, and maybe a step to where it goes higher, or it could stay in this 30% range and we could have a huge move. Back here in March, when we had the biggest bull run we've had in years on GME, 10 green days in a row, it peaked at 27%. Most of the time it's in the 20s. So it doesn't have to keep climbing. 30% is plenty. This one right here was in the 20s. The fact we're starting higher floor, and we're starting with a borrow fee that's already 25% more than it was back here, could be big signs. So I think it's still probably a good indicator to see on here after a big rally, whether this thing's at 33 or 40 or whatever it's at, when it starts tapering and then coming down, I think that's probably a good indicator. One of the ways that they suppress the price has been lifted a bit, so they can their rally might be slowing, at least if not over temporarily. So I'll still keep an eye on that into next week, but next couple weeks I am pretty bullish, very bullish, really, until, because GME, just looking at the patterns, like it's typically always the end of the month, sometimes into the next month. With the split and all this stuff going on, that could throw things around. If the options get messed up for them, basically all of the options they're using to suppress the price, which I don't think they will, because they're just going to times it by 4, but there is speculation that they will. I'm not sure why, but if that does happen, then that was the speculation on Tesla, on why its kind of squeeze after the split was so sustained, because the options that they were going long and short on years prior, they were still unwinding for years after. So here was their split. So there's the announcement, there's the split, and it could trade something like this, where it's a bit of a sell-off after. This is pretty aggressive, but we'll see. Some people taking profits or just trimming positions, since their position has a lot more shares. But yeah, if you look at Tesla, it was 2 months after, and this thing just started going nuts. Given the market environment was totally different, the shorts on Tesla were a lot smaller, way fewer shorts on here. So, but it is kind of interesting. Just traded flat that range for a bit and then rallied from there. So we might not have, if we're up at 150 or 200 or who knows where it is during the split, it might not come back down here. That's what I was saying this week and last week. I said Monday might be the cheapest it'll be ever again. Let's see, what was Monday? I was saying that on Friday and on. So here's Monday. Yep. I don't know. We might still break that low at some point, but that might be the last time it gets to that price, that 124. Given after the split, it'll be much lower, but you know what I'm saying. So if it has a rally, then it kind of sustains at a certain level, and then buying pressure starts to come in at that level, because it's cheap, and depending on what this marketplace, I mean, what's interesting about the NFT marketplace, I'm assuming they're just kind of copying OpenSea by showing and exposing their stats, which isn't very common practice, I would imagine, but NFT marketplaces are very new, so that's kind of the precedent that's been set. Because I think I saw that on one of the other ones, one of the other NFT marketplaces. But at any rate, they have it here, and to be able to see these, I mean, this isn't theirs, but you can derive this data from what they have on their website very easily. So the fact that we have this is pretty incredible. We can have a pretty good handle on what earnings are going to look like, as long as they keep telling us the data. So 4 million in volume. Like 4.5 days ago it launched, so looking at about 1 million in volume a day in dollar figures, and then of course their fees on it is 2.25, and this is just basically with, I mean, they have some games on there, like it's just so new and so unknown, and we're in like the middle of kind of like a crypto winter, and crypto's, I mean, the whole market's just, money's getting real tight, so the fact that it's even doing anything right now is crazy. So once they start getting maybe some shows on there, or movies, or like AAA games, or big partnerships, anything like that happens, it's gonna get crazy. And even at the pace they're at right now, that's great revenue, because I'm sure their margins on that revenue are really good. So yeah, today for me, I actually got a put right here. I thought we were going to come down at least to 130, so nice little protective put. But I kind of just slowly started picking up shares today. I was expecting to wait till Monday. I couldn't. I was like, I gotta get more. I gotta get back into more shares, because this doesn't seem like it. If anything, today would be the day they drop it. I mean, it could still come down some on Monday. It could still come down today, I suppose. But yeah, I was like, it's not going to be a huge difference. If it does come down some, I don't think they're going to bring it down to, the teens by Monday if they're going to rally next week. TA-wise, everything still looks good. Daily looks very good. Weekly looks nice. Nice bull flag still there. Everything's set up nicely. So With the profits we took from the shares last time, I was able to turn the 90 shares in here into 100, which could be more, but I'm maybe keeping a little bit of cash balance. And then on the other shares on margin, I just did the same 400 amount. So I could have done a little more, but I'm good on that. Again, if Monday's a nice dip, maybe I will, but maybe not since that's on margin. And then on this one, I just did the 200 again, so back to 300 on that one. And options, I didn't get a whole lot of options. I'm kind of waiting for Monday. Just because since there's a time frame on these, it's not so much about the price as about the volatility and the time. So, but this is what I got anyways. I got that put worthless. So if Ryan Cohen knows something that we don't, or if it's true that naked shorts have to cover before next Friday, I expect the price to be probably 4 digits. So got a few little yellows for next week just in case. 280 calls for next Friday. 160, 175 call debit spread for next Friday. Is that next Friday? Yeah. And then 172.5 and 185 call debit spreads, and 185, 200 for the Friday after. So not crazy amount of exposure at this point. Mostly for next Friday, and then these 4 debit spreads for the week after. Max gain of these is 5,700, not bad. And then 165, 235. Got just one of these for the Friday after. That's a pretty nice one because it's a big spread. So break even on that one's better because my long call is lower. My long call is 165, so the break even is 169. As opposed to like this 185, my long call is so much higher, the break even's much higher. So this one's kind of a safer one, I guess. So I'll probably scale in a little bit more on Monday, depending on what's going on. But this bullish into close is pretty wild. Pretty wild. There's been some good interesting DD coming out. Wall Street bets about Caesar crashing. I think we're gonna have a bear market rally, and I think Caesars and casino stocks and airlines will probably all rip with it. But then after that, it's probably a good one to short. I have a date and time for the marketplace. This is very interesting. This was found in the code. Now that there's an NFT marketplace, and there's all these NFTs, they can kind of hide Easter eggs in there. So speculation is July 18th at 7:20, or would be 4:20, I think, Eastern. Or no, 7:20 Eastern. 4:20 Texas. No, thought it was 4:20. Maybe it's 7:20. Is this the post? Yeah, Treasure Hunt limited to 7/18, which is 100 days ago. There was a date on there. I read it. Monday, July 18th. Yeah, so we'll see. That is the record date. That's Monday, I think, right? Yeah. So if they have a bullish catalyst on the record date, yeah, it could be coming. This is crazy. Basically, ETFs. This is about how they're just allowing ETFs for individual stocks. So there's like now a Tesla ETF that's just Tesla short, or basically just shorts Tesla, and it's ETF. And this is talking about people that I work for a hedge fund and I have pre-clearance for all my trades, so they can't trade what their company's trading, but ETFs fall outside of what they can't trade because it's supposed to be an ETF, an equity traded fund, or yeah, and not just a short to Tesla or short to GameStop or whatever. So this skirts a lot of the rules that hedge funds and different corporations and companies have as far as what they can trade and invest in. So a lot of insider trading basically will be released once there's ETFs of all sorts of different individual stocks. Even I think some like IRA accounts or some of the retirement accounts think you can only put in ETFs, and that's kind of crazy how that's going to work out. So yeah, we'll see. This was a pretty interesting read. The critical margin theory and then mixing it, just comparing it to all the other tickers, and how maybe SPY had to, we had a dump yesterday because we're outpacing SPY too much and his margin, and it got kind of in depth into that. But big drop today. Oh, this also is interesting. ISO, I'm not sure, somewhat speculation on all this, of course, but this is proposing that it was intermarket sweep orders, which it could be, and that's what they're seeing on the I don't know, the time and sales here, whatever this is. Intermarket sweep orders that basically dump the price. So yeah, kind of interesting. But yeah, that's it. Bullish into the weekend. Hope you guys have a good weekend. We'll see you on Discord. Thanks for watching. Peace out.